Thanks for joining us for this edition of Unclaimed Property Files. You know, we're all busy, increasingly so, but it only takes a few seconds to check for unclaimed property right here. Many of your fellow Hoosiers did, and look what it meant for them.
It's one of the biggest surprises I've had in my lifetime. Just found money. It found me.
You're probably much like widow and lifelong Hoosier Edna Shane, unaware of a revolution led by your Attorney General in the way life insurance companies find and pay beneficiaries across Indiana.
I wouldn't have known this money was out there.
Edna got a letter from Prudential out of the blue, telling her she was owed more than $15,000 on a policy her ex-husband took out way back in 1973. Edna hadn't a clue.
I did not know that he even had the policy.
And that little guy? That's Buck. He's part of the story, too. Buck's another way your Attorney General has improved how folks get unclaimed property back in Indiana. Buck the money dog used to look like this. Now he travels with the Attorney General, encouraging folks to check online, on a mobile app from their phones, and in the newspaper for money the state's holding for them. Check here often. Tell others to check. It's fast, easy, and free. But back to Edna Shane. She may not have known she was owed that money, but once she got it, she knew exactly how she'd spend it.
Well, I had a total hip replacement done.
The rehab was lengthy and costly after her hip replacement.
And I just waited and waited and waited. And then when I got this note from Prudential, I knew then how I could pay it. And all my medical bills are paid in full now.
Edna used part of the money toward rehabbing her hip, got a new car, and is thrilled. She's mobile again, and such a believer in checking for unclaimed property, she keeps a newspaper list of recipients with her at all times on the passenger seat.
It was really a blessing from God because I was on Social Security already.
Indiana Attorney General Greg Zoeller hired auditors to examine why insurance giants were often slow paying beneficiaries like Edna Shane. After the audits, agreements were reached with those companies. Insurers must now look for beneficiaries like Edna or turn their money over to the Attorney General's office after a certain amount of time has passed. To the Unclaimed Property Division or Indiana Unclaimed. Check here for your money. The amounts may vary, but the gratitude remains constant.
I had really forgot about it, to tell you the truth. I didn't want to admit that, but I hadn't forgot about it.
He got $500 and wants others to check.
You better get on the stick and get out there and get it.
Returning unclaimed property is part of the Attorney General's consumer watchdog function.
We really look at it as a moral obligation to try to bring back the money to the people who are deserving of it.
All you have to do is check.
Everyone we find that has unclaimed property always say that they had no idea that they were due this money. And a lot of them have never looked.
It worked for Edna Shane and thousands of others. Over $380 million is available to be claimed. It had a huge impact on Edna's life, as you saw there. So much so that she keeps a list on the passenger side of her car. Check often right here for unclaimed property. And join us for another edition of Indiana Unclaimed Property Files soon.